off the top of my head, but because I'm recording on Saturday, I wish I remember. But I think she got a twin or whatever. But she be with like DDG, and I don't know. She like first she went on. She's like, Chrisean's gonna be at the prom. I'm scared. Why are you scared? Like, why would you say something? Why do people clip farm? Like, people be clip farming my name and disses me or say weird things or victimize themselves and don't even know I'm a real person with feelings. Like, and it's cool. Nobody care what other people going through, and that's fine. I get it. But I don't appreciate that. Then, I guess Tylil was like, did you speak to Chrisean? And then she's like, oh yeah, I'll speak to her. And then she spoke to me, but she whispered in my ear, like, giving me props. Like, I can see deep down you're a real good mom. Like, I can see it. Like, you really love your son. Like, that was so sweet what she said. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's unfair. And the only reason why I'm watching my mouth right now, because I'm just gonna watch my mouth till I can't watch my mouth no more. So, girl, I don't know you. I don't know you, baby girl. I don't know you. So for you to be like, I'm scared of her is crazy work. Like, who is your Lord and Savior? Find up. Run that fade. Since we want to clip farm and this.
Something snapped. Not slowly, not quietly, not in a carefully edited Instagram story with sad piano music in the background. This was a full-blown meltdown. The kind that makes phones vibrate, timelines glitch, and group chats suddenly go silent because when Chrissy and Rock opened her mouth this time, she didn't hint. She didn't dodge. She didn't speak in riddles. She named names like she was reading a guest list to chaos. Blueface, DDG, Wack 100, one after another. No seatbelts, no brakes, no apology in sight. This wasn't a rant. This was a public emotional eruption of verbal crime scene. The type of moment where the internet collectively leans forward and says, oh, this is getting ugly. What started as a few words spiraled into accusations, side eyes, old wounds getting ripped wide open, and energy so reckless it made reality TV look scripted. Suddenly, everyone was involved. Fans, haters, comment sections, even people who swore they were done with this drama magically had opinions again. Cryptic reactions popped up, vague posts, emoji-loaded captions, silence that felt louder than screaming. Because when someone crashed out like this, you don't ask what happened. You ask who's about to get dragged next. And trust me, this wasn't just messy. This was the kind of chaos that leaves receipts, ruins alliances, and guarantees. The fallout is only beginning. The tension didn't come out of nowhere. It had been simmering for months, hiding behind jokes, cryptic captions, and moments where smiles looked a little too forced. Anyone paying attention could feel it bubbling under the surface like a pressure cooker with the lid duct taped shut. The internet just didn't know when it would explode. And then suddenly it did. Chrissy and Rock didn't wake up Andy's side to be calm. She woke up choosing chaos, honesty, and zero regard for fallout. What spilled out wasn't polished or strategic, and that's what made it dangerous. This wasn't a scripted clapback or a neatly packaged expose. This was raw emotion with receipts implied and patience completely gone. Blueface's name hitting the air again wasn't shocking, but the way it was said made people freeze mid-scroll. This wasn't heartbreak talk or recycled relationship drama. It sounded like unfinished business, mixed with resentment that had been aging like spoiled milk. The tone wasn't sad anymore. It was fed up, sarcastic, and sharp enough to cut glass. Then came DDG's name, and that's when eyebrows went up across the timeline because this wasn't someone expected to be dragged into this orbit. The internet loves a crossover episode, but this one felt accidental and explosive. The implication alone had fans playing detective like Rant was due. And just when people thought it couldn't get more reckless, Wack 100 got pulled into the storm. That name doesn't enter conversations quietly. It stops in wearing controversy like a designer jacket. The moment his name dropped, the energy shifted from messy to potentially career-altering. Suddenly, this wasn't just a rant anymore. It was a declaration of war. What made it hit harder was the lack of hesitation. No pauses, no allegedly, no soft landings for anyone involved. Chrisean spoke like someone who had been holding a list for a long time and finally decided today was the day to read it out loud. The confidence was unsettling, especially for people who knew there was history behind every word. Fans immediately split into camps because that's how the internet breeds. One side swore this was truth finally escaping captivity. The other side screamed clout chasing and emotional spirals. But even the loudest skeptics couldn't deny one thing. This felt too specific to be random. Old clips started resurfacing within minutes because nothing stays buried online. Interviews people forgot about suddenly felt prophetic. Lyrics were being dissected like legal documents. Even jokes from years ago were getting reinterpreted with fresh suspicion and a darker tone. Blueface silence became its own headline. Every minute without a response felt intentional, strategic, and slightly nervous. People read into every move, every post, every lack of post. When you don't speak during chaos, the internet speaks for you. Meanwhile, DDG fans rushed to defend before there was even something clear to defend against. That's how fast narratives form now. Preemptive damage control before the story finished loading. His name trending alongside this drama felt surreal to people who didn't see the connection coming. And yet, there it was. Unavoidable and lag. Wack 100's involvement turned speculation into anticipation. People weren't asking if he would respond, but how. Because when he enters situations like this, it's rarely subtle and never boring. The idea of his response alone felt like a sequel already being teased. What made this moment different from past blow-ups was the timing. No major rollout, no distraction scandal to soften the impact. This dropped into a relatively quiet news cycle and hijacked the entire conversation. It was like someone pulled the fire alarm during a movie everyone was pretending not to watch. Behind all the sarcasm and shock value, there was something uncomfortable lurking. This sounded personal in a way that couldn't be faked easily. The frustration didn't feel rehearsed. It felt accumulated, like a vault had been cracked open instead of unlocked. And as reactions poured in, one thing became clear very quickly. This wasn't the climax. This was the opening chapter. The names were dropped, the lines were drawn, and the internet knew exactly what that meant. Because once the first secret slips out loud, the rest don't stay quiet for long. The internet didn't just react, it detonated. What started as a rant instantly mutated into a full-blown digital circus, complete with hot takes, conspiracy threads, and memes moving faster than common sense. Timelines refreshed like slot machines. And every poll delivered a new theory, a new clip, or a new insider suddenly claiming they knew everything all along. Celebrity reactions came in the modern language of chaos. No statements, just vibes, a laughing emoji here, a song lyric there, a quote about truth posted at exactly the wrong time. It was the kind of vague behavior that convinces people it's all connected, even when it might not be. Silence became suspicious. Smiles became statements. Memes did what they always do. Turned emotional wreckage into comedy within minutes. Chrisean's expressions were frozen, captioned, remixed, and repurposed like reaction gold. Blueface became a punchline again, but this time with an edge. DDT's name started appearing in places it had no business being. And Wack 100 memes looked like warning labels disguised as jokes. Pop culture comparisons flew wildly because subtlety left the chat. People said this meltdown had more plot twists than a Netflix limited series and more chaos than a reality reunion with open microphones. Some swore it felt like a leaked episode that wasn't supposed to air. Raw footage and all fan bases turned into legal teams overnight. Paragraphs were written with the confidence of sworn testimony. Screenshots were zoomed in like they contained hidden hieroglyphics. Everyone suddenly became an expert in tone analysis, body language, and what this really means. Blueface's past behavior was dragged back into the spotlight like an unpaid bill. Old interviews felt incriminating. Jokes he once laughed off now sounded darker under this new context. The internet loves a pattern, and people were connecting dots with reckless enthusiasm. DDG's involvement sparked confusion, mixed with curiosity. His fans argued there was no motive, no history, no reason. Critics argued that was exactly what made it interesting. When your name pops up unexpectedly, people assume there's a chapter missing, and they will invent one if necessary. Wack 100's looming response felt like a ticking clock. His reputation alone added weight to the situation. People joked about incoming voice notes like they were incoming missiles. Everyone braced themselves because Kais loves a megaphone. Outrage became performative. Some users claimed they were done with celebrity drama while tweeting about it for the 10th time that hour. Others pretended to take the moral high ground while secretly refreshing for updates. Hypocrisy was trending right alongside the names. But think pieces popped up faster than facts. Armchair psychologists diagnosed everyone involved. Motivations were assigned. Alliances imagined and outcomes predicted like this was a sporting event. Nobody wanted patience. They wanted conclusions. The craziest part wasn't the noise. It was how quickly the narrative escaped everyone's control. What started as one person venting turned into a story so big that even the people involved couldn't steer it anymore. And as the chaos peaked, one question hovered over everything like a storm cloud refusing to move. If this was just the middle of the story, what on earth was still waiting to come out next? After the noise settled, just enough to breathe, the damage started to show. Not the dramatic kind with press conferences and apologies, but the quieter kind that lives in silence, side eyes, and opportunities suddenly going cold. Because once your name gets dragged through a viral firestorm, it doesn't just wash off with a tweet and a laugh. Chrisean and Rock walked away from the moment looking both victorious and exposed. To some, she was finally speaking her truth without filters or handlers. To others, she looked like someone who burned the bridge, the road, and the map all in one go. Raw honesty gets praised until it makes people uncomfortable. And this made everyone uncomfortable. Blueface image took another hit. But this one landed differently. It wasn't just recycled relationship chaos anymore. The conversation shifted from messy love to accountability whispers. From messy love to accountability whispers. People weren't asking if he was toxic. They were asking how much everyone ignored for entertainment. That kind of question sticks longer than jokes. DDG's situation became a masterclass in collateral damage. Even without clear accusations, proximity alone was enough to rattle the brand. When your name trends next to drama you didn't headline, it still stains the timeline. Sponsors notice. Fans ask questions. Silence stops being neutral. Wack 100's reputation didn't crack, but it cast a longer shadow. His name alone changed how people interpreted everything else. Suddenly, theories leaned darker. Speculation got heavier. The idea that he was even mentioned made the whole situation feel less like gossip and more like something with layers. People weren't ready to peel back. Relationships quietly shifted behind the scenes. Circles tightened. Calls went unanswered. People who once showed public support went suspiciously quiet. In this industry, absence speaks louder than loyalty. When the noise dies down, you see who actually stayed. The public perception fractured into something permanent. No reset button. Now we've moved on moment. Chrisean became more unpredictable in the public eye, which is both powerful and dangerous. Unpredictability keeps attention, but it also scares stability away. What lingered wasn't just what was said, but what wasn't. The pauses, the things hinted at, but never finished. The way certain reactions came too fast, while others never came at all. Loose ends don't disappear. They wait. Fans realized this wasn't closure. It was a warning, a preview. The kind of moment that changes how future statements get heard. From now on, every post, every lyric, every offhand comment will be re-examined through this lens. And the industry did what it always does after chaos. It adjusted quietly, strategically, like nothing happened publicly. Well, everything changed privately. That's how reputations really shift, not in headlines but in access. The wildest part is how normalized this all felt by the end. Another viral implosion. Another celebrity spiral. Another week where the internet devoured someone's life for content. Outrage fatigue kicked in. But curiosity never left because deep down, everyone knows the story isn't finished. You don't drop names like that and walk away untouched. You don't expose cracks without something eventually breaking through them. This wasn't an ending. It was a pressure release. And when pressure releases, it usually means something bigger is still building. The internet moved on, but it didn't forget. And when the next chapter drops, because it always does, everyone will remember exactly where this all started. And this is where it gets dangerous. Because if you think this was the finale, you haven't been paying attention. This wasn't closure. This was a teaser trailer. The kind that drops without warning and leaves you staring at the screen asking, wait, that's it. Now, that's never it. Because in this world, scandals don't expire. They reload. Names get dropped today, receipts show up tomorrow, and explanations magically appear once the damage is already done. And let's be real, the internet doesn't want peace. It wants updates. So don't sit there pretending you're above the drama while your screen time says otherwise. Jump into the comments and tell me who you think took the biggest hit. Was this truth finally spilling out or a crash out heard around the world? Say it with your chest. I'm reading everything. And while you're here, smash that like button like it owes you money and blocked you afterward. Hit subscribe like you're securing your seat for the next meltdown. Because around here, the chaos never takes a day off. Turn those notifications on because when the next name gets mentioned, when the next rant goes left, when the next this was supposed to stay private moment leaks, you're going to want to be early, not catching up. This channel doesn't do calm. It doesn't do sugarcoating. It does raw, reckless, headline-making breakdowns the moment the internet starts whispering. And remember this, today's rant is tomorrow's documentary. So stay locked in, stay messy, stay curious. Because if there's one thing the culture has proven, it's this. The internet never forgets and Vibe Crave never misses. Crave never misses.